Peak and Roll Podcast with Brady Trentham.
Viewer discretion advised.
Oklahoma. You believe all the shit you read?
The audience is now deaf.
What's up, Thunder fans? I just felt like podcasting today for no particular reason. Nothing's really going on in my life, so I thought I'd just hit record and see what happens. Russell Westbrook just signed his extension. What's up, everybody? So, yeah, super exciting. Super exciting. I'm sure everybody's blowing up Twitter, internet, whatever you're on. I'm sure everything is going really, really well in everybody's day. So, to make it even better, I thought about bringing on two of my favorite people in Oklahoma City media, Mr. Jerry Ramsey from 107.7 The Franchise and Miss Nikki Kay from KFOR. Thank you guys so much for joining today.
Absolutely. What a day. What a Friday.
That's not a bad Friday, I guess. If you're going to do a news dump, might as well do it for 230-something million.
Exactly. That's what the Thunder pretty much did, and that's exactly what I first thought was, this is quite the Friday news dump.
It's like, seriously, no day that you think you can take it easy is safe. I mean, from last Saturday to Carmelo Anthony's trade being announced to media day to, thinking you have a little lull this Friday. And of course, right as people are thinking they're off free, it's the biggest bomb of all.
Well, see, I think too, and this is a conspiracy theory, but a part of me thinks it's a mistake. Like, I think that Russell was signing checks for like his cable bill, his daycare. He's like, okay, Russell Westbrook. What is this one? What? Oh, no. Oh, okay, whatever. So.
Just one of Sam Presti's many instances of robbery. He slipped the contract in as Russell was signing his bills at the Thunder practice facility.
Boom! Yep, you can't take it away.
Exactly.
Can't take it back. No, it's been quite a surreal day. I mean, just a surreal week. I mean, going back to Carmelo Anthony being traded to the Thunder on our last Saturday, and then we were all there at media day. It was so odd to see all three of them in Thunder jerseys, and then now today, and we the account tweeted it out, so I might as well just go ahead and say it. About 12:30 today, we had a follower DM us saying that he had received word that Russell Westbrook was going to sign. We of course didn't tweet anything about it because these things will happen. You get told one thing or another. But wow, kudos to that kid that I guess heard the news ahead of time. But I wish I would have taken it seriously because I would have been a little bit more prepared. And as soon as the Woj tweet went out announcing that he had signed a 5-year extension, I was in the middle of doing laundry, getting ready to go to Midwest City to cover a Deer Creek game. So all that's been put on hold for now, and I will be, racing against the clock as soon as this podcast is done and goes up. So again, thank you guys for jumping on such short notice. But I mean, just
of course. Well, Brady, to be fair, I mean, you said you wish you had more time to be prepared, but this summer, in theory, has been a build-up to this moment, right? We were prepared for this. So I'm sure you are doing yourself a disservice by saying you weren't prepared. I mean, this is what you were born to do.
I will say this. Go ahead.
I was going to say that was just code that I was in my boxers still and not really ready.
I will say this. I love the fact that they have been so herky-jerky this summer because it does give journalists, and I say that so loosely about myself, like me, I get just as much credit as somebody as Fred Katz or John Hamm because they don't know what's going on either. Like all of us is just like, yes, we have just as much credibility as anybody because the Thunder, they play such a great poker game. No clue. Zero clue. Any of the...
All except Royce Young, who had a nice 1,000-word piece just ready to go, unless he just had it saved in the drafts.
He wrote that. Listen, he wrote that June 1st. That's been in draft since June. Don't let him treat you.
There were a lot of drafts saved up about either Russell signing or Russell saying no. Everything was prepared for, but it's still really weird to see it set in stone that Russell Westbrook will be here for the next 6 seasons, and we will all have the chance to cover him. And Nikki, you are a SoCal girl from went to UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
This has to hurt a lot of your friends back home with their for their wishes of a LeBron James, Paul George, Russell Westbrook super team with the Lakers.
Oh, it's so funny because a lot of my Lakers friends are also big UCLA people too, right? So they are just Russell Westbrook fans in general.
That's
so
true.
the first text I got from out of state about Russell choosing to continue his future here in Oklahoma City was just all caps loyalty, right? So yes, people in LA love the Lakers, but they also love Russell as a person. So I don't think anyone it will truly be as upset that he was coming to Los Angeles. I think, maybe the Paul George situation will be another reason, but Lakers fans had it too much in their back pockets that PG was coming to LA, and I just, as a firsthand witness to what this franchise has built out here, I don't think anyone in purple and gold should be counting on that.
Do you know who's mad? I'll tell you who's mad. The national media. Because they have to put Oklahoma City on their dossier for another couple of years to cover Russell Westbrook. Like, you're telling me they're so mad. They're like, seriously, I didn't think you'd have to come back.
They're like, more trips to the middle of America.
Yes.
Exactly. As soon as the news went down, I just turned on the TV and basically tried to find something that was talking about the news breaking. And I, for some reason, got stuck on Sports Nation on ESPN. And Marcellus Wiley, the only thing I heard, because I just caught it as they were going to commercial break, was, oh, great, he can probably go to the one restaurant they have in Oklahoma City. We've got a few more. There are a few more restaurants in Oklahoma City.
It is still a thing. Listen, I went to New York over the summer, and I'm not trying to be bougie, but I am.
Wow, Jerry. The other place.
But listen, let me tell you something. Whenever I was in New York City, I mean, where I went to eat? The Hard Rock Cafe. I mean, let's get nuts here. Let's not go crazy. They had a fine McDonald's. There was a Burger King. I mean, it was just 8
maybe some
million
Papa
people.
Was there Papa John's there?
There was a Papa John's. There's
Okay.
just 8 million people stacked on top of each other. Like, I'm sorry the rest of the country doesn't like it in the flyover state, but, get used to it, because I'll tell you what, this has been the center of the basketball universe for quite some time. You go down the list of guys that played here now. Blake Griffin, Paul George, Kevin Durant, now Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony is going to be taking jumpers at Edmond North. How stupid is that?
Yeah,
it's surreal.
I saw it earlier today. I was on Carmelo Anthony's Twitter account, and I just read his bio, and it said the official page of Carmelo Anthony of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I just kind of shook my head. I was like, I just cannot believe that.
So,
It's something special, and it's when he was traded here, and my first reaction is that when I did a live hit on it, I say to anyone who asks me why I'm working in Oklahoma City, this is why, because Sam Presti time and time again, and not only him, but this team is all relevant all the time, whether it's drama, whether it's the players, whether it's Russell Westbrook averaging a freaking triple double, there's always news out of, I think, it's the 28th small market in the NBA, so basically the third to last smallest.
yeah, no, it's too. I think it's the 52nd ranked. I think Sioux City is actually ranked above us.
Okay.
So
wow.
no, it's a big deal.
It's incredible, like the job that Sam Presti has done this offseason, and basically with what a lot of people thought was not a lot of assets to even do that much going into this offseason. He's been able to bring in Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Patrick Patterson, and Raymond Felton are kind of forgotten, but they're incredibly important to this roster going forward. And now you cap it off with Russell Westbrook signing his extension, and now it all makes sense why he's kind of forsaken his hot summer, hot summer weather clothing that he usually wears, and started wearing polos to kind of show off his guns. So he's probably feeling himself right now.
That's not a joke. Like, as soon as I saw that, and I think we were sitting kind of close to each other in the press conference, and I was just like, he's flexing on the NBA right now. He's just showing OKC prowess. He's just like, check this out. Carmelo Anthony in town. Paul George in town.
There's
suck it,
NBA. I really wanted to ask this, and I doubt I would get a real answer, which is why I haven't, but if he has in some ways imbued Russell Westbrook's slogan, "Why not," into his own managerial style, because we all know how cautious he's been in internal development. And then, I mean, he has said that, the franchise always pursues every avenue possible until they hit a dead end. And so maybe, he's always at least pushed these deals, but the fact that he made it happen this summer, I didn't know if it was kind of like all right, we're going to throw the kitchen sink at this and just hope Russell responds in the correct way.
You remember whenever Terrence Ferguson signed, and we're all there at 1:30 in the morning or whatever it was, just way too late to go see Terrence Ferguson picked, right? And it just seemed like a down in the Thunder organization this summer. And remember he said exhaustively, "Listen, we're in every conversation. We're making all the calls." And and at the time we thought that was just lip service. It's like, okay, he's saying that because obviously tonight he took an L. But truth of the matter is, he literally was, because that is the night too that we asked about the Chicago second round pick. And I remember him saying, and I looked at John Hamm, close personal friend John Hamm. I looked at John Hamm and I said,
"You know him?"
"Oh yeah. He doesn't acknowledge he knows me, but I know him."
He's on the dream team now, so he's big league.
Yeah, he's the Christian Laettner of that dream team. But I nudged John Hamm and I was like, "How important is this second round Chicago pick? Like, what is and you think about it, and that might have been the ice cream on the top of the Carmelo trade, and he knew that at the time,
Or is that the caramel on top of the Carmelo trade?
Nikki, don't. Well, first of all, no, I'm going hot fudge. This is hot fudge. This is not caramel. Caramel is whenever they're out of hot fudge, Nikki.
Oh, got it. My bad.
And I'd also be a little remiss if we didn't kind of recognize the job that Clay Bennett has done. I mean, this is a guy that, going back to the transition from Seattle to Oklahoma City, it took a lot of heat for how it went down. This is a guy that took a lot of heat for basically not willing to shell out enough money to keep James Harden around, forcing Sam Presti to trade him to Houston, which I think at the time that was more of we think that this is the best move basketball-wise for this team. I don't think anybody saw James Harden blow up to the MVP candidate that he is now, let alone if he was going to be able to do that as a six-man on the Thunder or even as a starter. But now he's going to take a near $30 million tax bill this coming off season. And if the big three all remain, which Russell Westbrook's going to stay around, the tax bill is just going to keep getting higher and higher. So this is an owner that's really given Sam Presti a lot of backing to do his job, and even Presti, who's probably one of the more aggressive GMs in the league, is also one of the more patient GMs in the league, and his patience really was rewarded. He was patient with Paul George when everybody thought he was going to either Cleveland or Boston. He was patient with the Carmelo thing when everybody assumed he was going to Houston. And in the end, he's got a big three in Oklahoma City and a star for the next 6 seasons. And, I mean, bravo, Clay Bennett and Sam Presti.
Yeah, absolutely. And you wonder if this is the sort of timeline the franchise had all along to be dishing out this money at this point, whether it was with a Kevin and a Russ side by side, or now, I mean, obviously there's other stars in the picture and Kevin's gone, but you wonder if in terms of the franchise's development and Russell hitting his peak now, and theoretically Kevin as well, if this was the time frame that the Bennett family, along with Presti, had kind of mapped out for the big money to be spent. And so kudos to them, like you said, for developing in the patient way, sustained success, as my boy Sam likes to say.
No, look, a lot of lessons can be learned from 2012, and no one ever in that front office is going to say that was a mistake, choosing Serge Ibaka over James Harden. Because, and we can go back and forth, and if Bill Simmons was on with us, I'm sure we'd spend 30 minutes talking about it. But
Oh, God, yeah.
I think lessons were learned there.
Yeah.
They got to the pinnacle. They were right there with Cleveland. They were right there with Miami and LeBron James.
basically Cleveland now,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, they're confusing me. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade now. But basically with Miami, and they let it slip away. And I think Clay Bennett opening up his pocketbook just shows that they are competitive and they've learned their lesson from 12. They tried it the cheap way. Obviously, they won at a very high clip, but couldn't get over that hump. And now Bennett's, losing Durant, said, no. We can open up a little bit, and we're right there, so let's make a run for it.
It's
so
interesting.
the franchise. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, Nikki. I was gonna say it's interesting. If you go back and if people want to criticize that trade, the James Harden trade, the Thunder basically choosing Serge Ibaka over Harden. Well, Serge Ibaka ultimately became Paul George. That trade, Serge Ibaka for Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis, those two for Paul George. So while that trade might have been a mistake, it still helped this franchise have that sustained success, even going forward today. So, and it's really, really amazing to compare this franchise with somebody like Cleveland, who, while I will never admit that the Thunder roster outside of Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook on 2016 was anywhere near the roster that LeBron James had pre-Miami Heat. I mean, that was LeBron James and a whole lot of nothing. So I don't necessarily blame LeBron for going south, but just compare when Cleveland loses their star foundation player to how Oklahoma City responded. And yes, Cleveland didn't have a Russell Westbrook to basically fall back on for a plan B, but wow, it's just July 4th, 2016, everybody thought the sky was falling for this franchise. Everybody assumed Russell Westbrook was gone next, and it was just blow it up, and then this is going to be the basement of the NBA for the next 5 to 10 years, but they're still here, and they're still incredibly relevant.
This side of a world championship, this story in the last year and a half with the Oklahoma City Thunder is the best NBA story around. It really is, because you lose a generational player, and what happens the next season? Dude steps up and breaks, Oscar Robertson's record and becomes that guy. And then you build around that into the most the City Thunder, this side of Golden State is the most relevant team in the NBA. That is unprecedented. That is just
absurd.
Absolutely unprecedented. I can't
think about how
of,
many
yes.
30 for 30s you could make about this past year and a half, right? Like, not only from the relationship of Russell and Kevin to the team that could have been with Russell, James, and Kevin to Russell Westbrook in and of himself, the enigma, the triple-double enigma. And now, what about Sam Presti? He needs his own 30 for 30, right? Like, it's just absurd.
No, absolutely.
And the story isn't even over yet. The story isn't even over yet.
You and I, me and Brady need to get together in that one restaurant in Oklahoma City and pitch all these ideas. If we can ever get somebody from LA to come down to tape it.
Cherry limeades from Sonic on me, guys.
I do have to say, though, I mean, we've seen this Thunder franchise take a step forward, especially this season with kind of getting hip with it, right? Like, You see the Paul George welcome party. You see the new jerseys, which are a little bit edgier. All I can say is that I hope in the peak season that they start playing a little bit maybe different music or adding to the DJ set list. Is that too much to ask for?
Calm down, Nikki. Calm down.
I'm sorry.
Baby steps.
My goodness.
I know. I'm high maintenance.
If they don't play CNC Music Factory, I'm not going. Okay?
Okay.
That's first things first. I can't have Migos constantly churning in my four quarters.
I mean, the Thunder are pretty much
taking care of business. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, the Thunder have already kind of improved their social media game. So yes, baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps.
I do appreciate. I see what you're saying, Nikki. Though, and and that Paul George welcome party, it
was lit.
If you think about it, the turn up, if you will, that Paul George turn up. That really did set the tone for this offseason. Think about it. All of us were twiddling our thumbs and just like, okay, what's going to happen? And that really set the tone. Like, we're about to get this party started, and we're going to get this party started right. Crap, that's CNC Music Factory. I did it.
You know what? I actually feel like the party is just getting started, but it's in reality been ongoing all summer. So it's, I mean, from the moment Russell Westbrook won his MVP award to now, it's just been like a nonstop celebration of Thunder news.
Yeah, no, absolutely no doubt. And the fact that he signs it's the richest. Now, like I said, I'm kind of without a whole bunch of stuff, Brady. but it's the richest contract in the NBA currently, right? Is that
yeah?
what you
It's
out?
it's a few more
Yes.
million dollars.
Am I putting
than
people on the
James
spot here? I'm
Harden's.
so sorry if I am.
Yeah, I think right now Steph Curry.
Because I think yeah.
Steph Curry, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook are I think they're the only $200 million players. If I'm correct, because I know Steph has like $201 million over the next few years. So
John Wall in there too, but because what I was going to say is, like, I know the number that's, Russell's signing a $205 million contract, but then you add in the money from this year as well, and it's like it's 233 technically, including this upcoming season and the duration of the contract. So awesome stuff for Mr. Westbrook.
yeah, Noah's going to have a pretty good childhood, I'd probably say.
Yes.
So Carmelo's next year is a player option, correct? Is it 28 or something? So
yes.
Yes.
So that's what we're looking at the end of the season. Now Russ is signed up. Carmelo has a player option, and then Paul would have to we're in the mix again, and we're going to show up at whatever Motel 6 that Paul George's meetings are going to be, right? Is that how that's working?
Exactly. He's going to be taking his free agent meetings in the Courtyard Marriott here in Oklahoma City.
Oh, classy.
Yeah.
I don't know, that might force him to stay, but I know you guys don't have that much time, so I'll try to be quick on this last little point.
Uh-huh.
But this is where it's kind of really important to remember that titles are not won in the offseason. Now, the Thunder have had one of the best off seasons in recent memory that I could think of from any one franchise, but there's still basketball that needs to be played, and we have no idea how Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook, and then the rest of the team are going to gel together. It could be beautiful. It can be kind of a disaster. It can be up and down. We have no idea. A lot of people are still predicting that the Thunder, despite all these moves, are going to be the 4th seed out west. Even though the West is so damn good now, that's still a little low considering the expectations, but it's going to be really interesting to see how this team gels from the jump. But they have all the talent necessary to really compete with Golden State. But, I mean, just some quick thoughts from you guys. What is this team's ceiling? Is it really realistic to think that this team can win a title this year?
I think chemistry is everything, and I think it's very easy to question the ability of Paul George and Carmelo Anthony to be a little bit more selfless, and Russell Westbrook to be a little bit more selfless in their style of play. But I think by sheer virtue of Carmelo agreeing to come to Oklahoma City, and Russell Westbrook, what he went through last season, carrying the load on his shoulders alone, and Paul George, this is different circumstances for him too. So I just think that the ability for them to play selfless basketball is going to be tremendous. I do think this team is the best equipped to defend Golden State. Whether they're able to hold their own against them in a 7-game series, I'd say they could make it competitive. But this team's going to have to be competing night in, night out, because, like you said, the Western Conference is a beast.
I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that the ceiling's the roof, and that's just how the physics works, Brady.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, Jerry.
But you're welcome. But listen, can they get a title? I'm a Detroit Piston fan. Okay. In 2004, when they got Rasheed Wallace, that was an offensively decrepit team that had pieces that put it together and were hungry and won a title. The ceiling is the title. Okay, and I'm not trying to sound like Senor Homer here, but the truth is you have the talent to win a title. And what I really like about this team, because you'll hear plenty of other think pieces and articles to tell you what's crap, what I really like about this is they got hungry eyes. Yes, I stole that from Dirty Dancing, but
nobody puts baby in a corner.
None of them. They have no chips. There's no championships. There's no rings. And then put on top of that Russell Westbrook's, vendetta against Kevin Durant. I mean, let's not mince words here. Today is Kevin Durant's birthday. Happy birthday, KD. I signed in Oklahoma City.
I'm coming.
Coincidence? Sure, whatever.
I'm coming.
But you got 3 guys that want a title that are all world coming after those fat cats. They signed Swaggy P. Don't tell me that they don't have a little arrogance over in Golden State. By the way, Golden State is still on the map. I don't even know what that is. Ever since Rick Barry. It's not a real city. It's not a real thing. Oklahoma City is real, and they're hungry. And like you said, Nikki, they're coming.
Yeah. So
Well, I'm ready. I'm ready to put the jersey on and start playing.
let's go. I've got a Serge Ibaka jersey. Is that going to be acceptable in the peak?
I have a Demonis Sabonis jersey.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, guys,
So
this was going to be a kind of a short and sweet podcast, and it couldn't have gone better. And everybody's Friday is probably going to be that much more sweeter in Oklahoma City and all across the state, and just Thunder Nation in general. I guess, wow, I still can't believe it, even though I was somewhat, I mean, on the last show I pretty much said, the Media Day reaction show, I mean, Russ blatantly said this is where I want to be, and he's not one to basically say one thing but then kind of backdoor his way into another situation.
He doubled down.
Yeah, he says exactly what he means, and so at the same time we shouldn't be surprised, but it's still amazing to think that we'll be able to cover this guy in Oklahoma City for the next 5 to 6 years, and I'm pretty damn thankful. But hey, guys, thank you so much for cutting into this busy news dump Friday and talking to me about Thunder basketball for the last 30 minutes.
no,
Sorry, news problems.
No,
All
see,
right.
it was you. You had the background stuff. It's not, and Brady, listen, I just want to go on record by saying, congrats on everything you're doing. You're doing a great job and up and coming star. And I'm just trying to attach as much as I can to get.
I think you're doing all right. Brady. Just fine.
And
You're
Nikki-
just fine.
Nikki, as the second best looking person over at K4, because D Buckingham is the beaut. You do okay, too.
Savage. Okay. All right. Hey, Jerry. We know you got called into the principal's office for a reason, so just try and,
Oh yeah,
try and get out of there.
Jerry is recording this show in a principal's office right now, so he apparently did something kind of bad.
Yes, see, they just slammed it down. I'm about to get my swats. So,
Okay. Hey, you guys have a great Friday. I can't wait to follow along with you guys. Both.
Yeah, I'll see you guys at practice at some
Okay.
point. But again, thank you so much for jumping on, guys. Y'all have a good one.
thank you, Brady.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to the Peak and Roll podcast. I really appreciate it, and this is going to go up fairly soon, so thank you so much. But for Miss Nikki Kay and Jerry Ramsey, this is Brady Trantham. Thunder up, everybody.
How about that chicken salad out of chicken something else?
We are the Stash Bros, and we approve this
podcast.